Hey guys, my name is Kev, and I often see and get questions from people about how much does it cost to get into PC gaming. And the truth is, it depends. Nobody likes a not straightforward answer, but the truth is, it really does depend on what you want to do with your computer and what you already have. The cool thing about PC gaming is that a PC is a task-oriented machine that offers a lot of flexibility and choice for the end user. Sometimes you have to work for that choice, and sometimes it's just right there. But for this instance of what we're talking about, I think there's some questions that need to be asked. What kind of games do you want to play, since we're focusing on gaming? How much can you afford? Are your frame rates and resolutions important to you? Everyone likes to play different kinds of games, everyone wants to play different things, and that's going to largely change your budget. If you're somebody who wants to play the latest and greatest AAA games at 4K resolutions with ray tracing at 200 frames per second, you're going to pay a lot more than somebody else who's just wanting to play CSGO, for example. Or if, say, you want to play, maybe last gen or previous gen games because you just want to get into some cheap gaming, or even like retro games and emulation. That can be really cheap. All of this is PC gaming, and all of it will change the price tag significantly. So today, we're going to do a hypothetical example, and I'm going to assume that you want to play the latest and greatest AAA games at 60 frames per second at 1080p. This is very common, and it's possible on PC without spending too much money. We're also going to be using PCPartPicker.com because that's just an awesome tool for doing theoretical builds. And we're going to give ourselves a budget of between $500 and $600. Alright guys, and this is PCPartPicker.com. This is the site I'm going to be using to do my theoretical build. When you're building a PC, everything, and you have a budget, everything is kind of tailored around that budget. I'm going to start with the graphics card. The graphics card for a machine geared around gaming is generally considered the most important part of the PC. I'm going to give myself a budget of about $250 for the graphics card alone. We also have the compatibility filters on, though that'll be more important when we're selecting a motherboard. For the graphics card, I'm specifically looking for some of the more entry-level stuff, your 1650, 1660 type stuff, RX 6400, 6500, 6600, and I'm going to see what the best deal I can get here, which I'm thinking for $246, the RX 6500 XT isn't a bad deal. The 1660 Super isn't a bad deal, though I'm not sure which one of those is actually faster. I know they're the same kind of class of card. So for that, I think I'm going to actually, let's look and see if there's anything else here. 6500 XT, you can get that for a little bit cheaper. Usually I would say just go with the NVIDIA card in this class, or at this price point, because they have DLSS and ray tracing, but the GTX cards don't actually have that. So the AMD card might actually be the better bet. And because of that, I think I'm going to go with this Power Color Fighter OC. It's about $219. Let me see if I can get a 6500 XT for less on here. Here we go. Here's another one for $200 from MSI. I like MSI. I like Power Color as well. Those are $200. Okay, so we'll do this MSI Tech 2X OC. Now, there are probably other cards that you can select in this place, but I think this will be great for 1080p 60 frames per second game. So I'm starting with the graphics card there. We spent $200, and keep in mind we're trying to keep it under $600, so that's going to be great for our budget. We've spent $200. Let's go for a CPU. To pair this with the CPU, I'm going to filter this for Ryzen 3, and I'm going to filter it for i3s. So we're going to do something, like I said, a little more entry level. The 12100F I know is an excellent CPU, but so is this 10100F, and it's $40 cheaper than that. So I think we go with Intel. So I think we go Intel here. And the CPU should come with a cooler, so I'm gonna save a couple bucks there. And this is kind of how you just piece out, part out a PC. You know, the motherboards are also always going to be a little pricey for this kind of budget. I think all of these motherboards are pricey, but I'm going to go with, let me see, we can go with MSI. I like MSI, so I'm going to go with this MSI B550 board. Then we're going to pick some memory. I want to start at 32 gigs. I don't think anybody building a PC, like, you can get away with buying 16 gigs of RAM these days, but we're headed toward 32 being the kind of like the staple very, very quickly. So I think it's just best just to start there and go from there. I like G-Skill. G-Skill is a reputable brand, so I'm going to go with this G-Skill Ripjaw. I know the Ripjaw. I've heard the Ripjaw brand. I've heard great things about Ripjaw. I'll go ahead and throw the Ripjaw there. You see here we're already at 432. And we have our main components we need here. We're going to need some storage. I'm going to go back. I'm going to move off of storage for a second. Make sure we have a power supply and case as well. And then we'll base how much storage we have after we have all the required pieces. The H510, it's a well-known case. It always does great for budget builds. That is kind of the budget king in my opinion for cases. Power supply, 255 watts. I always like to go for a little more than what I need. So while you only need 255, I'm going to try to go for 600 and 650. EVGA makes great products again, 80 plus gold certified, 650 watts, fully modular, okay, and it's ATX form factor, so it should fit in whatever case, 60 bucks. Let's see where we're at now. See, we're at 562 now, and now the last thing we are going to need is storage, and now we have about 40 bucks more or less for storage. So let's see here, we're going to go ahead and we'll price filter down to storage, down to say about 40-50 bucks. If I go a little over, that's fine too. I'm trying to keep it in that range. I don't want traditional storage at this point, I only want SSDs. And let's see what we're going to get. We have a Crucial P2 for 43 bucks. That'll put us $1 or $2 over the 600. I'm okay with that. And boom, here we go, $605.91, $600 entry-level gaming PC, and it's just that simple. Once you know what to pair the right parts with, and this will get you anything you want at 1080p 60 frames per second, fairly competently, very respectfully. And this is what I would recommend, or a hypothetical build that I would recommend for somebody getting into PC gaming for the first time now, or maybe something happened to your PC and you need to replace it quickly and you just need a budget build. This is going to get you in the door and get you playing everything that you want to play. If you have questions, of course, leave them in the chat. If you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next time, and thanks for watching.